And we are live. Hello, everyone. Good evening for everyone in Australia. And good morning, afternoon, whatever, if you're in another country. Actually, if you are watching us in another country, please... oh, I can hear myself. Oh, why I can hear myself? We're doubling. Kanika, am I hear myself from your computer?
I put myself on mute, so that should not be the case, but I'll put myself on mute again.
That's all right. You know, I can hear myself twice. Why not? Okay, sounds good. So let's try now. Can we still hear myself? Okay, so hopefully it won't be the case for the rest of the stream. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry for this doubling of the sound. So please write in the comments why you're actually joining us today. What country you're joining us from, and we'll try to stay relevant to your situation as well, because we are actually at the stage 3 of lockdown here in Melbourne, and I can still hear myself. I can still hear myself.
But on the stream, we only hear one Yana.
It's interesting. Hopefully that's the case. Okay, guys, let me know if you hear me twice or not. Please comment. Let me know if you can hear me twice or not, because if you hear me once, that's all right. I can listen to myself twice, but as long as you're getting a right audio. So please give me a thumbs up if you hear me. Sound is fine. Thank you, Dmitry. Okay, so that's good. So anyway, we know during these few years, LinkedIn became more than just platform for like job seekers and looking job. And it's a great place to networking, particularly during the lockdown. And tonight we're going to discuss how we can establish ourselves as the leaders on LinkedIn. And if you're listening to us live, please comment below why you're interested in this topic. Yeah, so why do you actually need to establish yourself as a leader on LinkedIn? And before we really jump into this topic and Kanika introduce herself, I just wanted to remind you that we're going live on LinkedIn and on YouTube, and you can watch replays on both platforms. Of course, I would love you to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you can, or follow Live with Yana hashtag on LinkedIn. And we're gonna answer all your questions during the stream. So ask as many questions as you would like, as long as you're staying on the topic, obviously. And the exciting bit, those participants who have like the best questions and best answers will have a giveaway from Kanika and the other streams. So obviously I do encourage you to participate and ask as many questions. So before going any further, I would like to pass it over to Kanika to introduce herself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kanika Pandey. I professionally head Asia Pacific for an AI-based company in San Francisco. It's called Applitools. Throughout my career, I have kind of been a generalist. I've done a lot of things in life. I build and I help startups grow in APAC, and that's my passion. I like solving technology problems. One of the things which I'm sure people who have followed my LinkedIn journey would have noticed that I am very passionate about fitness and weightlifting. And I think it helped me solve a lot of questions that I had about myself in my life, and then helped me get closer to how I saw myself as a leader. Really the athlete that was inside me, the competitiveness, And if you followed any of my videos, you would see how a lot of the learnings that I had in weightlifting, I applied to work, I applied to what I did, for customers and for my own team, and helped me shape my personality and also become a better human being. And I think a better human being is a better leader. So it helped me become closer to my aspiration of being a leader. Again, my LinkedIn story really started from a post that I did about 3 years back. And I have a clip of that if Yana wants to show that. This was about 3 years back. And at that time, it was very clear to me that I wanted to aspire people. I wanted to inspire people, and the tagline was really close to my goal. My goal as a leader was to inspire people before we expire. That's all that I wanted to do, because that was my definition of leadership. And that's how really my LinkedIn journey started. I did that post and I suddenly realized that there was a community of people I could reach out to, beyond the people that I've worked with, like beyond the 6 members in my team. There's a community that exactly felt the same. And somehow it allowed me a channel of expression. And for me, that was the starting point, Yana. And then, of course, I did art posts and I did videos. And, my last series, which was this post that you see, was more about myself as a leader, the charisma, the swagger that I had. And it had about 50,000 views, like I think a little more than 50,000 views. And I was ecstatic to hear back from a lot of people I had not even worked with for a while, to say, we are so proud of you, Kanika. And I'm relaying this back to you so that when you're listening to me, you realize what I really went through in the journey, from just doing a post to express who I am as a leader. And I heard back from people I have worked like 10 years back, and they brought back memories of how I was a leader even back then. Was very, very humbling. And then Yana encouraged me, of course, to do a series of videos on lessons from the gym. And if you have not seen it, I would encourage that you see at least one of them on my profile, because honestly, I have heard back even from leaders whom I admire, who have looked at the video and said, Kanika, you have brought in something really powerful, and it's the power of analogy. A simple example from the gym is helping people solve problems at business. So if you go back, Yana, to my journey, and you've been very closely associated with it in the last, 1 year and a half since I met you, and you've helped me tremendously. But I think it was just a hidden desire to inspire people. And I thought that's what leadership is. That was my definition of being a leader. And then just the intent of sticking to it and following, my gut feel really got me here. And I'm happy to answer more questions. But that's really a short summary of who I am and how I really use LinkedIn as a platform.
And I guess the other question I have, like, why actually LinkedIn? And we ask our audience, why they're interested in this topic. And you can see, like, Rajiv saying, interesting to leverage more on LinkedIn, which is not done previously. And as you mentioned before, like, you hear from the people that, you might haven't heard otherwise in the real life. So is that the reasons why you've been using LinkedIn as a main platform to establish your leadership, or is it any further reasons to that?
Okay, so again, I think it goes back to where you have the maximum network or audience that you want to reach out to. So if I was a developer evangelist and I really wanted to reach out to software engineers, I would probably go to Twitter, because I know, a few of my colleagues, and I have a very good friend, Angie Jones, and she is phenomenal on Twitter. And she hardly does much on LinkedIn. But if you want to reach out to the leadership community, this is where I wanted to be. I wanted to reach out to the people who are business leaders. LinkedIn is the best platform to go to, because they are not only here looking for content, but they are also here looking for talent. They're here looking for people. And there are various drivers, Yana, why this becomes important, and we'll talk about it. But if you want to establish yourself as a leader, a business leader, then this is the platform to be on.
And Penny's just messaging, well said, the hidden desire to be a leader. So Kanika, how did you find this like hidden desire in yourself to be a leader? Like where people would start and they want to be a leader?
I think that this comes very innately to a few. And some people think that leadership is about disobedience. I don't want to listen to anyone, so I want to be a leader. It really was not that. For me, I could always feel when I walked into a room, I wanted to leave an impact and, it ensured that people could get something from me as an individual. And, I read a lot of books on what leadership means, and I have been influenced by a lot of great authors. But I can tell you, I dug very deep to find this desire. Where is this coming from? And then it went back to some skills that I had. It went back to the courage that I saw in myself to do things in tough situations where others would give up. I ran a startup and it completely bombed, and I got myself back from that to where I am leading startups grow their business, and especially Apply Tools, which has been a great journey. The fact that I knew that I had a strong empathy, that I could relate to people, I could connect to them, and the drive that I had to go from 90 kilos of weight to 10% body fat, and to be able to look at a barbell loaded with 50 kilos of weight and say, I want to lift this, and I realized that these things are great because they can also help others. I still remember the moment, Yana, I had from not being able to lift 12 kilos above my head. When I lifted 45 kilos above my head, that moment I felt, what is the other challenge in life that I can't solve, and how can I get everyone have that belief that, okay, it's a bad day, let's halt, let's pause, let's restart. And when you restart again, you will realize that you can solve any challenge. You're unstoppable if you have the right attitude. So when I dug deeper into the skills that I had, I realized that this desire combined with the skills requires an expression platform. It needs a platform where I can go and express myself. And that's really what LinkedIn was for me. It was an expression of my skills, which I thought needed a broader audience than just my team. But, Yana, it is my team that made me realize who I am, because they constantly reiterated, my family, my team, my friends, and they reiterated my belief in my skills.
And I guess we're coming to the next question here as well. I actually would like to, before we go to this, I actually would like to ask audience, guys, like, what do you think, what is your leadership skills? The people who's listening us, what do you think, what leadership skills means for you? Because that's such a broad definition. There is no exact definition who is leader is. We can call leader everyone who have followers, yeah. But there is so many definition of leadership. And guys, who's you ask, what is your definition? What do you think your leadership skills are? The Kanika share with us her three that she thinks that build her as a leader. And so I would love to hear what you think. And also, here we go. Attitude is everything. Karthik said, perfect. Leadership is listening, empowering and supporting. So,
Yeah.
Kanika, where would you start? Then you would define your leadership skills. You know, how did you decide that this is your core leadership skills?
So, I see some amazing things that everyone's writing. And, if you dig deeper like I did, you will realize that we all, as leaders, and again, I say leadership is about, leading a small team or a big team or aspiring millions. It doesn't matter. As a leader, as a good human being, you will realize you have some core skills that you repeat. You constantly portray them, and you create a list of that. And then what I did, Yana, is I consulted a group of people, and these are my trusted advisors, my family, my close friends, my work, my team, my the team that I work with, the managers who have managed me. And I said, choose from these skills that I have put over here, the ones that you think define me the best. And I specifically said, I would like you to give me just your top 3. And it's funny, we actually think that people don't understand us, but people who are close to us really know us very well. And the number of times I heard, the drive that you had, like, my father used to tell me initially, and I used to always disagree with him. He says, you can lift a mountain, Kanika, if you wanted to. And I would say, you're just being my dad. But then, that feedback came again and again, even with friends, that you have the drive. And that helped me get to my top 3. Now, I also want to say that you can be, leadership can be a specialist leader, someone who knows a technology really well, and you're a leader. If you know automation really well, you are a leader in that space. You can just stick to that skill, Yana, and that can become your content. And if you are looking at a generalist leader, which is where I wanted to see myself, then you pick amongst skills that you can create a list for yourself and go to your closest friends to pick a few. But the reason why I say you need to pick a few is because before you start writing anything on LinkedIn, there is one thing you need to answer for yourself: your driver. Why do you really want to do it? So for me, my driver was being able to inspire people to do things they have not done. Like for women, to go and use strength training to build their character and their personalities. But for others, it could be, I just want more credibility online. I want to find more, I want to break stereotypes, or I want to just help the community. Whatever is your driver, before you do anything, write that driver down. Because when a hard time comes or someone trolls you for a post, this is what you lean on. You lean on your driver. And hence, having that is really important. And for me, it did not matter when I got, trolled on one of my posts where someone said 80 seconds of my time wasted. And I was like, what am I supposed to do about this? And I was like, well, I'm sure that there are many others who have benefited from the posts I have done. So I moved on. So really what is important is to find the driver and align your skills to the driver. You can have many skills that may not align to the cause or the driver. For example, I cook really well. It doesn't matter, it really doesn't matter what I want to bring out on LinkedIn. So you just need to be very focused on the driver and the skills you have.
How's your cooking skill, Kanika? Do you actually cook well?
Amazing, Yana. Butter chicken. You're more than welcome when the lockdown is over.
I'm just hopeless with cooking. So you just hit me with another leadership skill here. I just want to follow you now.
Good.
Which is coming back to the audience and coming back to the drivers, what we're trying to achieve. So, guys, I want to ask you as well, who's listening. Have you tried actually do what Kanika just told us? Have you tried to go to your family? Have you tried to go to your friends, your team, yourself, and asking those questions? What is actually my leadership skills? And what it means for you, and what is it? Because as Kanika just mentioned, it's amazing how other people actually can look from another side and give us something that we didn't think about ourselves. So if you haven't done it, like, I encourage you to definitely do this exercise. But Kanika, coming back to this leadership specifically for LinkedIn. So for example, a lot of people might have some ideas they want to share, but maybe not everyone have this courage to go and share it with everyone, because a lot of people have this a bit of a doubt, like, oh, what will other people say? What if my ideas will be controversial to other people's ideas? They maybe even write some post, but just didn't click this post button. So how some people can find this courage to share their ideas?
So, Yana, firstly, we should stop saying that this needs courage, because this is not even an act that needs courage. It's a post, Don't you post pictures on Facebook, Yana? Like, why does it take so much courage? It's because we've put a lot of baggage in our head that this is LinkedIn. It's a social platform. There are people who are doing posts and all sorts of posts, and the memory of people when it comes to a bad post is as short as a good post, So the memory of people is bad. It is not about courage. I think what people are missing out on is that, like everything else in life, it needs a plan. It needs a little execution plan. So to help you guys who have joined this live, I thought I will tell you what my plan is, how I go about it, and see if it works for you. So firstly, all of us get a lot of thoughts in our head. I don't know if you know, but you get about 6,000 thoughts in a day in your head. Like, you probably just pass through some of them and don't think about it. And there's some that you ponder over a little more. I would encourage you to start voicing or writing those thoughts somewhere, especially the ones that align to your driver and align to your skills. And look for stories. Look for things that you can bring out actively, right? So now that's your first thing that you have got. Once you've got that, go to your team, the people who actually told you, yeah, this one is important. So you can actually enrich what you think by going through social media, by TED Talks and books. So I read a book a week, and I can tell you that my thought flow is tremendously improved because I read books that are aligned to my leadership skills, and they give me more ideas. So fuel, your idea pipeline, increase more ideas. You write down your ideas, and then you go to your friends, your family. When you have a clear idea, I go to Yana. If people want someone's advice, I go to Yana a lot of times and say, Yana, I have this idea. What do you think about it? And I have another friend, Stuart Gent in National Australia Bank. He would say good, bad. Yana would say good, bad. Okay, then I am clear that this is what I want to do. And all this doesn't take much time. It's like just a few chats. You found something, you write it. Then you decide, okay, this is what I want to publish, and you post the content. And really, it is about the fact that you have to lean on the intent that you have, that you want to establish yourself as a leader, and you look for things that others can learn from. Just don't write your story. Remember that a person reading your story wants a takeaway from it. So I encourage everyone to look for analogies. Give examples from your story, but leave behind a lesson that can have a multiplier effect. It is proven, it is a proven science that an analogy can help solve really big problems in the world, and you can give a simple analogy from your workplace or what happened to you or your experience, and trust me, and trust your belief that this will help others solve big problems. So really, it's about this process, And Yana, I put this process together, and once it started working, like everything in life that we do, it just became a regular process of posting content. And I have had bad posts, like I told you, the one where someone said 40 seconds, 80 seconds of my life wasted. I've had some posts, but the memory of that is really short. As long as you stick to your intent and your story. I've seen a lot of people go scattergun. They go, one day they will write about North Pole and the other day they will write about South Pole. What are you trying to really portray yourself as online is really important. So that's really how I went about this. And I'm really curious to know, Yana, at what stage do people stop? It'll be good to know from the people who are watching this. Have you ever had an idea and stopped? Like,
guys,
did you give up?
So what has stopped you? What have stopped you from sharing your ideas? What came to your mind, and why you wanted to share something and why you stopped? While everyone asking this question, we actually have a question from Manish. Manish, I hope I pronounced your name correctly. Do you really need to be a leader to inspire and serve others?
Yeah. So again, I think Monish, that's a good question. No, and that's why I said a leader is just is a human being, and the kind of leader I am. This was inspiring others was my goal. It's an individual's aspiration. You could have a different aspiration from your audience or from your group, and to be specific, do only leaders inspire people? I just think anything that any person who inspires me is a leader in himself. I look at something and I feel I want to be like that person, and I find that to be an attractive leadership skill. That's just an individual opinion.
So, as I said, I guess, as I mentioned before, there is a lot of ways we can determine leadership, and probably there is no one approach fits all. So, guys, I guess when we're talking about leadership, we're going back to this like drivers and the big goals. Like, as a leader, your goal might be inspire. As a leader, your goal might be serve other people. And when you're thinking about your LinkedIn post, that's what you're coming back to. You're coming back to these intentions, and that help you to create content and actually drive others as well. And I guess that's what we're talking about when we talk about leadership on LinkedIn. You have your drivers, you have your intention, you pass these intentions, and you inspire others. So again, the question for you guys, what has stopped you before from sharing your ideas? So Kanika did share her framework with us, and I want to get back to this framework in a second, but let's see if we have any comments here. So Rajiv saying, felt that idea was not realistic enough.
Yeah, here is what I think. I don't know, Rajiv, if you try to take that idea to, your core team, and if they gave you the feedback that it was realistic enough or not. For example, the first time I wanted to do a weightlifting post, I thought it is Facebook content and it should not go to LinkedIn. I'm telling you, those were my feelings. This is Instagram or Facebook content. It should not go to LinkedIn. And then I spoke to a few people, and they said, Kanika, when we see you do weightlifting, it gives us so much confidence in you as a leader for some reason, And that feedback encouraged me to do my first post. Of course, I adapted it to the audience that I had, but the fear that it's not realistic, what can be more unrealistic than posting leadership lessons from the gym and in a series? but people actually could find those analogies helpful. And I know that there are many women who have reached out to me personally, and they have said that this definitely inspires them to shake away the stereotypes, and come out and prove themselves and do something different. So I think the fact that you thought it was not realistic enough, maybe we should have a chat about it.
Guys, anyone else want to share why you stopped sharing your ideas before? Everyone have different reasons, so if you share it to us, would be great. But yeah, coming back to what Kanika said, like we are our worst critics as well. So, if we think that our idea is not good enough and not realistic, it's often because we are criticizing ourselves more than everyone else actually would criticize us. So you need to start somewhere. Yeah. So you need to follow the process. You need to start somewhere. Maybe your first, idea, your first post won't be the most amazing one. And, maybe someone will say that it was a 40 seconds of their life wasted or something. But as long, we're coming back to the idea, as long as you're coming back to your main intentions, coming back to your main drive, then you keep going and you keep sharing others' ideas and coming up with the content. And guess what? It gets better and better. It gets easier and easier along the way. And you know what? I want to actually go back to this slide, Kanika, because it's a simple slide, but I think that a lot of people need to actually spend some time putting these percentages in. Then I saw this slide, like I felt like, I actually need to think about it myself as well. What actually gives me more ideas? Because I do listen to tech talks as well. Like I scroll through the timeline, I read some books, but reflecting on what gives you this inspiration at first is really important as well. Because we get like caught in the routine, and sometimes we forget, like, we might realize that the majority of the things that give us first is the books, but we end up being so busy that we don't read any books.
Yeah, and this is a common mistake, Yana. I see. Again, I'm no expert, but I've seen a lot of people, again, think of LinkedIn very similar to Facebook, and they will just write a thought they had. Okay. Again, it really depends on your followers and how catchy your content is that your thought should become viral. But it's not Facebook. There is some great content over here, and I can tell you, books help because they sharpen your ideas, and then when you portray them, when you write a post, it is giving people something over there to read. And I can tell you that the number of times I have seen a well-written post or a good content get more views is a lot higher than a sob story. It's really important that you sharpen your content by reading and having some intellectual stuff over there for people to consume, because you have to realize this is a very sophisticated platform as well. You have people who read a lot, the business leaders in the world, they read a lot, they know a lot, and hence it's really important to keep sharpening your pencil with which you write your thoughts.
And one more thing I would want to add, it's some people think that they need to reinvent the wheel. And we keep reinventing the wheel, but in reality, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. We, as you said, we sharpen our thoughts with the books, and we put it through our experience. And the best post out there usually is when you sharpen your thoughts, by reading some content through the books, TED Talks, but then you're taking through your experience and give your story with your example based on this book or based on this article or based on this existing content. And that's usually the content that really grabbing attention and establish you as a leader as well.
So again, going back to, this is more generalist talk, but even specialists, I know specialists who are experts in, say any area, automation, cloud, they constantly keep reading, doing more certifications. They have more new content on their specialty. So you have to realize that after a point in time, everything really depends on the content and how it is written. And the how do you write it is a smaller problem. The bigger problem is the content. And what you want to write on, again, goes back to your own skills. So if you think you are a courageous leader, go read all the books on courage, or just listen to all the TED Talks on courage. And you'll find so many analogies that you could come out with. And just create your process, a very simple process, and make that first start.
And I guess you have your process here. So would you like us go through to summarize our conversation today? Would you like talk us through this?
Absolutely. And let me, when I summarize this, I also want to start by saying, when we decided the topic for this live, Yana, to establish yourself as a leader, we were debating a lot on the choice of, leader or not. Like, how do you define that? And it was a great question that was asked. And I want to say that essentially it is about getting credibility and visibility for who you are. And that's very important in the world of business today. And that starts by being yourself. Your LinkedIn profile today is your resume. It's your online reflection of who you are as an individual and as a leader. And if you want to grow and you want to, have a constant goal of, for me, it was about, inspiring people. For you, it could be about helping the community. It could be about attracting more people to your startup. I have seen entrepreneurs struggle to hire good talent. And how do you do that if you don't even have a personality online? Like, why am I joining you, Mr. CEO? Who are you? How do I know your thoughts? You have to have your presence online. So find the reason and be very clear about it. So if you go back to the flow, it's really important to have an underlying reason and a driver. People want to come and join you as a leader and your team when they know you. And that's such an important aspect. Are you a generalist? Are you a specialist? You know what your skill is. Define what that is. And then leverage the power of your thoughts. Sharpen your thoughts. Make them richer. Read more content. Don't doubt yourself. It doesn't take courage to take your thoughts online. It does not. It's more about just polishing and getting better thoughts. My coach always tells me, you lift the best when you have happy thoughts. Have happy thoughts, have happy thoughts, read good content, and then in the end, execute. Don't worry when you click on that post button. I know a girl, Praniti, I don't know if she's on this live or not, but she just started doing some posts and she had to overcome a bit of fear. But after that, I have seen her posts. They are amazing, and over a period of time, she will refine it. It's life. We start a process and we get better at it. And over a period of time, you'll start feeling, it's karma. It starts flowing. People like you and then people come towards you. So that's how I would sum this up, Yana.
And it's a great point. You can't learn by talking or thinking about it. You learn by doing it, as any skill. So it takes time to put your thoughts on LinkedIn. It takes time to, at the end of the day, I always say everyone have a great content. Everyone have great stories to tell, but not everyone understand how you can package it up for LinkedIn, how to make it like LinkedIn friendly, consumable, and so on. But guys, like, if you're doubting yourself there, you all have these great stories. It's just a matter of following the process, finding your process that works for you, find your drivers, find your skills, find what's sharpening your thoughts, and put it into the process. So we have 5 more minutes of our live stream, and I would encourage you guys to ask as many questions as you have. whoever is still with us, please, few more questions to wrap it up this stream. And you know what? Who will ask the best question now also will get some surprise from Kanika. Kanika, what are you giving away today?
So I felt that a lot of people have the idea, as I think Rajiv said, that he had an idea and he thought it was unrealistic, or people just get stuck at some stage. I would like to help people write their first post. So I will work with you and co-author your first post or your second post. I don't care what it is. It could be a video with me. It could be anything that we come up with. But I'll invest my time so that I can help you start your journey, because I may not have answers to all the things and doubts you have right now. It's almost like getting onto a joyride, right? You always have butterflies in your stomach. But I can help you take that leap of faith, because I know that the world out there is going to surprise you and is going to make you feel really good about yourself as a leader. So that's the giveaway, Yana. If you have any, and if you want to give that away to anyone, I would love to write some posts for not about myself but about them.
We have a few people who've been pretty good following us all this stream. So I do believe that Rajit actually asked probably the most questions so far. But yeah, there was a few people who've been asking a few questions. So guys, if you're still with us, I think we still have a few people who are watching us. So we wanna hear your questions, and we also wanna hear again, like, what stopped you before of sharing your ideas, and also what you wanna be known for. Yeah, like, why would you wanna be a leader? What's your drivers? So share with us, and we have one more giveaway. One giveaway go to Rajiv. And we have one more giveaway for those who thinking that they have this inspiration to establish yourself as a leader on LinkedIn for whatever reason, because as we established, you can have a different drivers. But yeah, so that's your chance at the moment to get this giveaway from Kanika. And while we're getting some comments, was one more thing that we hasn't mentioned, I think, Kanika, when we was going through your presentation. Was there something?
I think we covered. I think we covered everything.
Did we?
Yeah.
So I guess the last question that I have would be, how you decide, we're following the process, we have this flows, we have these drivers, but like, I just want to post something today. Like, what should I do? Like, I just want to post something today. What would be first thing you would suggest me to do?
I would say if you just want to do a post, I can tell you a few don'ts first, Yana. So don't go and reshare someone else's post. It's not going to help you establish your own individuality or yourself, unless it really aligns with what you want to show yourself or position yourself as online. Just resharing really doesn't help. Don't and so that's the biggest don't that I have. The other thing that really helps when you want to do a quick post is go and look for something that has happened in your team today, or something that has happened where you can appreciate someone, and that's a good post to do, because that also shows you in a very good light. So I would say, if you really want to go and do a quick post, I'm sure there are many people in your team that you would want to appreciate. Just go ahead and do that. That's probably the easiest post you can do.
That's a great advice, Kanika. Actually, I haven't thought about it because I'm self-employed. That's why it's never really come to my mind. But that's a really good point, because you also sharing the love with others. And
yes. I saw some great examples in the last couple of weeks where people were actually appreciating each other, and those posts were amazing.
We have a question from Penny while we were talking. Penny is asking, consistency is my question. How do you continue to post, or should I say post consistently when you're down?
Yeah, it's a very, very good question. I can tell you today, I can admit today is one of my down days. And you know, it's one of those days where I've had a lot of things to do. I told Yana it's not the best day. You don't have those things in your control, right? Like, but the good thing about posts is that there is probably a day that you're down, or maybe there's a week that you're down. Don't push yourself too much to do a post at that time. You know, when do it when you're ready. I always feel we sometimes put too much pressure on ourselves. Am I doing a post weekly? Should I have a target for this? It doesn't matter. You know, there has to be some sort of consistency. So you don't have to really push yourself when you're feeling down. But then again, if you're going through a bad phase, I actually feel that a bad phase requires you, to bring out certain skills as a leader, which others need to know. You know, courage is a great skill which you would have when you're down. So why not tell people about your story of courage? So that's really on how do you overcome down. Now, how do you continue to post? Here's something that I'll tell you. You have to get a few people to keep you accountable. It's almost like going to the gym. You know, you sign up for an annual membership, then you go and tell a few of your friends, I am going to lose 10 kilos of weight, and then they laugh at you when you don't get to your goal. Like Yana, she's the first one who would say, so what's going on? There are no more videos? What are we doing? You know, and I have a few other friends, and then now have some followers on LinkedIn. So they keep me accountable and they keep me going. And Penny, it again goes back to your driver. For me, this was a platform of expressing myself. And what I got back was great love. So for me, it never feels a chore to come online. I don't even remember a day where I have done a post and I have not really felt some sort of a positive. I've been left with some positivity after doing a post, and that's the reason why I believe that all leaders, all of us who are actually leaders within ourselves should do it.
Great advice. The Penny saying great advice, Kanika. And I would love to add, Penny, as well, to your question about consistency. Look, how I go to keep staying consistent, I actually have some content that's pre-recorded. So I usually try to have some sort of content that I already have in advance, some evergreen content that I can always post. And I don't rely always on my inspiration that week or inspiration that day. And it obviously depends on the situation. So sometimes to stay relevant, the content needs to be relevant. But usually I go with the few types of content: the evergreen content and the day-to-day content that might be really just something that just happened this week. Like, I don't know, lockdown happened in Melbourne and so on. And sometimes if I'm down, I might not to post this quick content, relevant content, and I might just stick to my evergreen content just because maybe I just can't push myself to create something amazing this week. And talking about tonight live stream, I think me and Kanika, we both were like really like not in the best mood in the beginning. But it's the same, Penny, as going to the gym. Then you want to go to the gym, and Kanika can relate to it. You have these days you just don't want to go there. You just don't want to go. But once you get in the gym, when you put your clothes on, you're in the gym for 5 minutes, and it's kind of not that bad. And I keep doing. It's exactly how we felt tonight. 5 o'clock, we're like, do we really need to go live today? No way. Penny, I actually woke up at 11 a.m. today. 11 a.m. I dragged myself from bed. That's, I'm not having, I'm in my down week at the moment. and took me probably like 3 hours just to sit on my computer and actually start doing stuff. But actually, after the stream, I will have more energy than I had 11 o'clock this morning. So, and then you sharing these things with the people, you actually showing your leadership skills too, because you actually can show as well that, you know, not every day is flowers and pink sunglasses.
And I can only tell you that right now where we are in the world, this is needed more than ever. I have seen even people who would be so anti any posts on LinkedIn say, this is the time where I really need to be there, because I want my team to see me more often, see my thoughts more often. There is no better time than now. And there is no better way to start than to ask yourself, what do you want to get out of it, at least in the short term, and look for your skills that you can inspire others with, or just give analogies, or just share. You know, at the end, we are all here because we want this community. You know, we are here for that. And if we were not social people, then we should not be on LinkedIn in the first place.
Yep, 100%. And here we go, Penny saying, that's make me feel better, Yana. Here we go. That's how leaders can make people feel better. Just tell sometimes that we feel the same. So Penny, thank you so much for your participation. So Kanika will be in contact with you for your giveaway. So Kanika actually will help you to create one of the posts. And we have Rajiv as well that's saying thank you here. So it's our two winners for today that Kanika will get in touch after this live stream and help you guys with whatever you want to help. And we have some thank you from Kanika as well. These her contact details that you can see on the screen. So if you would like to contact Kanika, here's your email and mobile phone. And before we wrapped up, we're already on the 50 minutes mark. Before we wrapped up, Kanika, what's your last message to our audience?
Yeah. You know, Yana, it's really amazing to see how our journey, your and my journey, has been. I met, I say this a lot of times, I met her in a conference and an event, and I did not do videos at that time. I was so conscious of doing videos and forget about doing videos and then sharing it on LinkedIn. Like it was a fear. I used to write articles, I used to do posts, and I had already started my LinkedIn journey. One tip I will tell you is video is a great content. And I'm not saying this for any other reason, but the fact you can go and check on my LinkedIn profile and other LinkedIn posts. Video is a great content. It just takes a little help or maybe a few tries to get over the hump in the beginning. And this can be a great way for you to express yourself on LinkedIn and reach out to more people without the barrier of words. I remember Yana once told me she can't write.
Kanika, did we lost you?
Yeah.
We lost you for a split second.
Sorry?
All good.
Okay. I'm just saying the last tip I would say is if you struggle to write, use video.
And that's me. I hate writing. That's why I use video. But for some of you, even I'm doing video, and I think videos are amazing. But I can tell you guys, whatever works for you and for your audience, whatever works. What video? It's another medium. It's great medium. It's all about what works for you and work for your audience, and you need to work it out yourself. For some people, it might be writing. For majority of people, it's video now, just because it's more interactive. And because Kanika, you mentioned it, I'll squeeze some advertising in actually quickly, because I actually do have a webinar coming up. It's a complimentary webinar. You can register on my website. It's on the 6th of August, and we will be talking how to effectively use video on LinkedIn to grow your business. We have more comments there. Everyone's saying a lot of thank yous. Praniti saying Thanks, Yana. Thanks, Kanika. Thank you, guys.
Thank
Great
you. Thanks
tips.
for joining.
Thank you, Penny. So thank you so much, guys, to being with us this evening. And thank you for your participation and great questions. And I'll just want to remind you that I'm going live every Wednesday at 5:30. And next Wednesday, we actually will be talking about how to increase your chance to get hired on LinkedIn. And we will be talking with Andrew Murphy, who's a leadership coach here on LinkedIn as well. So make sure that you join us next Wednesday as well at 5:30 on your drive home. And it will be some giveaways from Andrew as well. So thank you so much again, everyone. Thank you so much, Kanika, for your time tonight. And
thanks, Yana.
We'll see everyone next Wednesday.
Bye.
Thanks.